I want to welcome you in here on your Thursday at 6 o'clock. I'm Julia, along with Julia and Chuck.
And looking forward to your weekend forecast. I wanted to just help you plan out and know you're going to have your Easter egg hunt maybe in the living room instead of the backyard.
Not a bad idea, Julia, depending on when you have it planned. But this is also just such a huge travel weekend. Today's Maundy Thursday, so this is on the Christian calendar, the celebration of the Lord's Supper. And this is when a lot of parochial schools are off.
Okay.
So this Easter break may start today for some of you. And I would say this, not a bad day, but we're going to see some rain. And I want to begin with a look at radar. I'm not sure that any of this is actually hitting the ground. I think some of you did see some sprinkles around Covington, Petersburg, Crawfordsville earlier this morning. But you'll notice that you go about 80 miles west of this, Carbondale over towards St. Louis. There is rain this morning, and farther west there's a line of very strong storms near Topeka and Kansas City this morning, and that's a harbinger of things to come. Now here's what's going on around the country. We're seasonably cool, 43, but look at Kansas City at 62. That is a bubble of warm air that eventually will move in here. That'll be tomorrow, but we'll get up to 65 later today. 43 here, 46 in Bloomington, and 44 in Lafayette. This ridge of high pressure, as this thing moves off to the east, the winds shift, right? They'll be out of the south, and that's when we warm up. You can see around this warm front right now the showers and thunderstorms that are popping up. So I'm not looking really for thunderstorms this afternoon, and certainly not this morning. But when the kids are coming home from school, we'll get up to 65 and there will be rain. Don't be surprised if there's a rumble of thunder, but mainly rain today. Now we're going to get thunderstorms this weekend, and we'll break that down in a few minutes, but it still looks like 465 in Keystone. We've still got an issue, right?
So Chuck, a little confused on the situation because some cops will show up and they'll go, and cops will show up back again, and then a tow truck just came, got real close to the vehicle that's stuck there, and then now has also left. It may be real stuck here. They're on 465. You're looking eastbound. This is just past Keystone, but traffic itself is still moving okay. Then we take you into Hendricks County. Good morning for the Brownsburg Bulldogs. The boys baseball team, they're going to be hosting a big night tonight against the Westfield Shamrocks, and then the Lady Bulldogs will be on the road. They're going to be headed to Center Grove to take on the Trojans just to the south. So a lot of good baseball and softball games today. Hopefully the rain's not too bad. We should be looking pretty good. Good luck to all the athletes.
I pulled up right here and they told me I couldn't come in. So I don't know if he's in good condition or not. I called his phone, no answer. So I'm hoping and praying that he is okay.
That's just raw reaction from a woman who got a call that she never expected. Her name is Tangela Williams, and she'd been told her husband was shot while he was watching their grandchildren at home.
Wow, so horror on top of horror there, really. So right now, police say they're investigating what led up to this triple shooting. This is just in a neighborhood on the city's east side, and it happened in the middle of the afternoon yesterday near 10th Street and North Ritter. Anna Chalker this morning has been looking into this story. And Anna, do police know what led up to this shooting, or if anyone has been arrested so far?
Well, ladies, no arrest just yet. A person of interest was detained at the scene, and they say this was really just an isolated incident, but it happened in the middle of a street of that residential area. So I want to show you video from that scene yesterday. Police blocked off a large section of Irvington Avenue for their investigation. They say this happened just before 4 Wednesday when officers received a report of a person shot. That's where they found a man inside a home with gunshot wounds. And while police were at this location, there was a separate call to Community East Hospital just blocks away where a man and woman walked in with gunshot wounds. And at last check, both of them were in critical condition. And as you saw throughout the video, several neighbors were out at the time of the shooting, including children. And police say violence like this will have a deep impact on this neighborhood.
Any act of violence in our city is disturbing. Anytime a person is injured by gunfire is disturbing, let alone 3 people. This is not something we want to see. This is a residential area. It's a beautiful day, blue skies. We don't want to see this.
I have reached out to police for any updates on those victims' conditions and if any arrests were made overnight. And you heard from the wife of one of those victims earlier, and you'll hear more from her coming up at 6:30 as she talks about just what happened when she got to that scene and that her husband was watching their grandchildren at the time of this shooting. In Indianapolis, Anna Chalker, 13 News.
Anna, thank you for that update. Well, this morning, 4 people are under arrest after a deadly shooting in Brownsburg, but the suspects won't face murder charges. Instead, investigators arrested the 4 suspects on various charges, including theft and firearm charges. You might remember this shooting. It happened at the beginning of March. 2 Indianapolis men, 19-year-old Lucas Brearley and 25-year-old Zachary Johnson, both died as a result of this shooting. Well, investigators say the 2 apparently got into a fight after trying to steal from cars. Officers say Brearley then shot and killed Johnson, who was in an SUV while leaving Brownsburg, and the person driving the SUV, Logan Huffin, then shot and killed Brearley. The Hendricks County prosecutor has determined that Huffin was defending himself and Johnson when he shot Brearley.
2 teens are facing murder charges this morning in connection with the deadly shooting on the city's east side. Police arrested one of those suspects in Texas. This case goes back to January 15th along East 49th Street near North Arlington Avenue. Police arrested Brian Winston Jr. and Alexis Hawkins in connection to the murder. They say that Hawkins was arrested in Indianapolis while Winston was taken into custody in Austin, Texas, and both are facing murder charges this morning.
Also this morning, an Indianapolis man will begin his 20-year sentence for killing 2 brothers.
This case happened nearly 2 years ago, April of 2023, at a gas station near 32nd and Emerson. Jaquarius Mitchell and Jimmy Thomas were killed that day. Martise McGee admits to being the shooter. He was 20 years old at the time.
Police say there was an argument at the counter of this gas station before the gunfire. We talked to the victim's mother after the judge handed down that 22-year sentence.
Because I don't see too much justice that my sons got, and they ain't never coming back. So I had to accept whatever the judge gave me today. So that's a hard pill, but I have to eat it up.
McGee did offer an apology to the family in the courtroom that day.
6:07 this morning, investigators are still looking for more suspects in connection with a large-scale drug operation in Johnson and Marion counties. The Johnson County Sheriff tells 13 News officers have arrested 25 of the 45 people they're looking for in connection to selling fentanyl and other drugs. The sheriff says the arrests are the culmination of a long time work from multiple agencies, including Greenwood, Franklin, Edinburgh, IMPD, and the Marion County Sheriff's Office. And Indiana State Police tell us they've solved a decades-old cold case, and now they say the killer has already passed away. Phyllis Baylor died in 1972 when she disappeared while driving to her parents' home in Bluffton with her 3-year-old daughter. Police say she never made it and was later found murdered in Allen County. Police say more advanced DNA testing helped them build a strong profile, which then brought them more evidence. Using that technology, state police identified Fred Lineman as the killer. Police say he was killed in Detroit, Michigan in 1985, but the Allen County Prosecutor's Office says he would have been charged with the murder if he were still alive today.
Neighbors in Franklin are concerned over plans to build a massive data center, and they say they're being left in the dark about the company behind it. Residents were grilling the developer's attorneys about the proposed plans last night at the Franklin Township Civic League. Here's what we do know about the plans. It's called Project Flow. The company behind it, though, is remaining anonymous. We do know it's a Fortune 100 tech company in the U.S., and they plan to invest about $1 billion into farmland. The community members say that the company needs to go public in order for them to feel like they can trust the project.
We want to know who the neighbor is going to be to us, and without that information, we can't make a full judgment of whether we think it's a good idea.
The residents also pressed attorneys about why the community incentives won't be discussed until after there's a rezoning process. There is another community meeting later this month on April 29th.
The Pacers G League team has a new name as the franchise moves to Noblesville.
So the Mad Ants of Fort Wayne are now the Noblesville
Boom.
Take a look at this here inside of the arena at Innovation Mile. It is the soon-to-be home of the Noblesville Boom. So the new name is a nod to the booming city of Noblesville, but also a tribute to the iconic boom baby phrase coined by legendary Pacers coach and commentator Bobby Slick Leonard.
Seems a little more frightening than ants,
I
too,
think so.
doesn't it?
Just a little bit. They're mighty, though.
Yes, mighty, I agree. Well, the new court design, uniforms, the mascot, and more ticket information, it's all being unveiled in the coming months. The G League season gets underway in November. Boom, baby,
Here we go. Well, a year after the Pacers knocked the Milwaukee Bucks out of the playoffs, they will meet again. The Pacers open postseason play this Saturday at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. It's game 1. It tips off at 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon.
Now, game 2 is also here at home, so it is Tuesday at 7 p.m. The series will then move to Milwaukee for 2 games. They'll come back to Indy for game 5 if needed, then alternate venues.